Hi guys, I'm Nat. I'm a yarn maker, indiedyer, and the owner of Fiberdog Fibers. And today I have a problem for you that you've probably run into if you are spinning on a spinning wheel. So let's get right into it. So the problem that I'm talking about is when you're plying your yarn and you're filling up your bobbin and everything goes well, and at some point your bobbin is empty. Well, that's all nice and good. In the end, that's our goal. However, the other bobbin is not empty yet. So, what do? You could just end it here and waste all this, but you spent all this time spinning this, and who wants to waste yarn? You could also just do like a reply or use it in other projects, but if you're like me, you actually want this part of the single in your yarn. You made it to be part of that specific yarn. So what do? And the solution is quite simple. It's a technique called a plying bracelet. It's also known by other names, but I'm gonna stick to plying bracelet. And what it does is it allows you to access both ends of this single that is now still on the bobbin and ply it with itself. So you have no waste, you're using all of your singles and have a lot of yarn in the end. So it's a really simple technique and we're gonna do this. To get started, you take the single that is still attached to your bobbin, and I don't personally remove it from the yarn that has already been plied, and I always wrap it around my little finger just so I don't lose this end and so it's easier to find afterwards. You do want to keep track of your ends because you do need both in the end. So the technique is rather simple. You're taking the yarn, moving it back behind your hand, moving it around, and over your middle finger, back to where you came from, behind your hand, over your middle finger again, back where you came from, behind your hand. You basically repeat that all the time until you're running out of single. When you're moving it around the middle finger, it is furthest away from the area where you're coming from. So I'm coming from this thumb area right here, and I'm wrapping it around the middle finger here. Not here, but here. So it's back behind the hand, around the middle finger furthest away, back where it came from, behind the hand again, around the middle finger, back behind the hand. And like I said, you keep doing that until you run out of thread. Now there's a few things to note about this. You want to wrap it loosely. If you do not, you will cut off the circulation of your middle finger. Another thing you probably want to note is you will be tied to your spinning wheel for the time being. You cannot just get up and answer the door or play with the child or dog or whatever. You are tied to your spinning wheel until you're done plying, essentially. Now there are tools who allow you to basically park your bracelet on a little device and that will not tie you to the wheel. But you don't need to have those. The technique just works fine the way it is with your hand. Just be aware that you might need a few minutes to wrap it and then ply it, and that you will have to stay on your wheel for that time. Alright, at some point you will have everything on the bobbin on your little hand. I of course did not pay attention to my own advice and wrapped it way too tightly, so this is getting uncomfortable. So wrap loosely. So I'm going to remove this from the bobbin. So I have a loose end over here. The other loose end is wrapped around my finger. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take all this that is around my middle finger, and it's a little bit difficult because I wrapped it too tightly, and I'm just going to slide it off the finger and keeping this little loop intact. Now I usually slide this to the back of my hand. So now you have the one end that's already attached to your yarn and the other loose end, and you can just attach it like normal and keep plying. So I'm gonna take the loose end, and I'm just overlapping the ends a little bit here, then adding some twist. You can just ply it from your wrist. You have two ends coming off, and you're able to use these like a center pull ball, basically. Do not pull on your bracelet. It will fall off if you do, because it's not actually a circle, it's a half circle essentially that's grabbing onto itself. So just pull on the individual strands and use those to ply the rest of your yarn. Now as you're nearing the end of the bracelet, it will eventually come off your hand kind of naturally, like this. And you just keep holding on to it, keep plying until you've plied all of your yarn. And have no waste at all. Now you can use this technique on either of your hands. I usually wrap it around my right hand because I'm left-handed and that's my hand that does all the controlling of everything. But you can wrap it just as easily around your left hand, or like I said, around a tool. If you want to look for those, the term handy Andy is what you might want to look for. And just enjoy having these threads all used up. So this was our little problem solved. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and if you did, click like, click subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, all of those. I'm always happy to see those. And that was it for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day and enjoy your crafting.